Love is Blind, Season 5, Episodes 1 through 3. 3. I finished watching 3 so far, if I'm not mistaken. My first question, I'm wondering how much of this is reality and how much of it is produced drama to give us something entertaining and salacious to look at. I think I already can see the 5 couples that are going to be followed for the duration of this season. And I'm not going to put it out there yet because I don't want to be wrong. But, so y'all saw my shorts about the first couple episodes, things I noticed so far. But let me just basically get into other things I noticed. First of all, Izzy, he's 29. He had a few people interested in him. Lydia, Stacy, and Johnny. He tries to let Lydia down easy, and she's not seeing it. Like the questions, like how he's encouraging her to go and make sure she check out other connections and how asking her how her other dates are going. I knew then that he wasn't interested in her. As I said, I knew from those questions and his encouragement that he wasn't too much interested in her, so he says that he's super interested in Stacy and Johnny. I thought that Johnny was his number one. Johnny's also interested in Izzy, and I think his name is Chris. Chris had me super sad. They got to talking about sex, and he admits that his first sexual experience, he was raped. To admit that on TV to somebody through a wall, that was a lot. I wish I could hug him. I feel like that made me think about that parents need to talk to their kids as early as possible about inappropriate touching and stuff, because a lot of things can happen and people can take things for a joke, and it's not a joke. And I think the females took it for a joke that he wasn't interested, and they just kept pushing and he just acquiesced, I guess. But nevertheless, he was taken advantage of, and it's wrong, and I feel sorry for him, and I wish that somebody could have reached through and hugged him. He's so into Johnny. Johnny's his number one. We see Taylor. I told y'all I liked her. I thought I liked her personality. And she's with the guy, JP. JP proposes to Taylor. They got pet names already. They calling each other Sugar Butt and all that. He proposes to her. They leave the pods where they could see one another. She looks super pretty. They hug and kiss, and then when they sit together, it's like an awkward silence. And they both went on and admitted that it was an awkward silence because it feels like they had more connection behind the wall than they had with the person. And then she's in a confessional saying, like, she went for something that she don't normally go for in a guy with him. And she tried not to be so surface and so fixated on physical appearance, but she mentions she don't like his teeth, and I just say, oh my God. I mean, we all flawed. We all have our flaws and stuff, but I had her in this bubble that I liked her, and then when she said that, that just made me feel like, oh God, are you so deep as a pond, as they would say, which means surface level, you know. But they are engaged. We see after after Lydia gets turned down by Izzy, she starts talking to, what's his name, Milton. Starts really giving him a chance, and they did seem like they connected because they both had the science background, and both of them, they both were super nerdy. But I can't help but to think Lydia is doing this because she wants the chance to go to the honeymoon thing where they go stay at the hotel for a while so she can see who all else is there. You know what I mean? So she can see what Izzy really looks like, and he can get the chance to see what she looks like. I feel like a lot of people do that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure she's really into Milton. Then Johnny has a conversation with Izzy. She talks to him about past relationships. She was actually married in the past. The husband, no, she had a boyfriend. The boyfriend she really had a strong connection with. That was the only person she felt like she ever loved. She ended up leaving him because he had an addiction. She ended up getting with the rebound, and her and the rebound guy ended up married, and she married him. She wasn't in love like that. She married him because he felt safe and felt like somebody she could have, and she didn't want to be alone, so she married him, and she shouldn't have, as she told Izzy. He's taken aback by this, and he says he's wondering if he can measure up to that first love of hers, because she also revealed to him that she had got a message from somebody on social media, and he told her that her first love had succumbed to his addiction. He overdosed. So he feeling a certain way, and I'm like, I feel like Izzy is picking people apart, and he has so many things in his past that he could be dealing with too, that people don't want to deal with in a relationship, but yet, like, you got baggage too, but he's picking all these women apart for their baggage. That's how I see it. His baggage is he grew up Jehovah's Witness, and from him I learned something that I didn't know. I knew Jehovah's Witnesses didn't do holidays and all those things like that, celebrations, birthdays, and all that stuff. I had no idea that you couldn't participate in sports, though. So he said he was in sports in high school, but he had to hide it from his family because he grew up Jehovah's Witness. And at one point in his life, he was with some friends. I think they were having an Easter egg hunt or something to that effect. Somebody gave him a basket. He started hunting. He's a kid. He don't know no better. His father grabbed him up and berated him for participating, took him home. Told him he can't do that kind of stuff. He got upset about it, and he ran and went to a cousin's house or something. Or maybe he called somebody and they came and picked him up. I'm not sure. But he vented to his cousin about how embarrassed he was and how it made him feel. And the cousin was like, wait, you don't know that he's not your real father? And I'm like, wow. To have to learn something like that from a cousin in a situation as this, that's a lot. So he, when he became an adult and lived on his own, he went out. He was like he went out and bought a Christmas tree and left it up till April. And he sounded a little sassy the way he was describing this part about buying the Christmas tree and all that stuff. He sounded a little bit sassy to me. But his background is he's mixed with Mexican, I believe he said. And his name is Ismail. I said, oh, that's cute. When he said Izzy was his name, I thought that his name was probably Israel or Ezekiel. But most people do go for Ezekiel. Most people say Zeke. But you could say Izzy too. But, alright, y'all, I'm back. Anyway, they getting on my nerves. As they said, anyways, Uche and Aaliyah. He apologizes to her for sounding like he was judging her in that conversation when she admitted to cheating on her last partner 2 years before. And she accepts his apology. She says, you know, she don't want to be judged. He asked for honesty, and she really want to be honest. And she feels like she's grown from that past experience with the person in the past. So he's like, cool, so they make up, things are good. We see her crying and talking on Lydia's shoulder about Uche. And Lydia is comforting her, telling her how special she is and what she deserves and things like that. It's like they've been each other's rock through this whole process, right? And to me, the way it's looking, it really gives off to me that Aaliyah might go both ways. I don't know about Lydia, but Aaliyah gives me a suck cat energy. Like she like the dad wearing cootie twat every now and then. I got that word from Jamie. From Jamie, it's me. Cootie twat. I like, and I love the way she says it. But yeah, Aaliyah gives me she might do that every now and again. So Johnny, like I said, she has a connection with Izzy, and her number 2 is Chris. Chris is all in. I think Chris is ready to propose. And him and Johnny have a date. And Johnny breaks it off with him. He's left hurt. He's crying and all that. She leaves the room. He goes back to the men's area and cries. And she immediately has a date with Izzy. Izzy tells her that Chris was crying because she said, I want to be completely honest. I just broke it off with my number 2. He's like, oh, okay. And he goes on. So as I was saying, Izzy and Johnny are having a conversation. And she volunteers that she just broke it off with her number 2. And she goes on to explain to Izzy that her reasoning behind it. And she said that she had a super great connection with the other guy, but she just feels like it feels safe. And she could picture her life with that guy, everything, but it just felt super safe. And she don't want to keep choosing safe because she feels like that's what she did in her past relationships, is choose the safe option. She want to go with the choice that gives her some excitement and trepidation or whatever, which would be him. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he lets her down easy, tells her he's breaking up with her. It's not funny, but it's like, wow. He breaks up with her. She's hurt. She leaves. Before he does that, he does let her know that Chris was in the poets crying. I don't know if I said that, but crying about their breakup. But so he lets her down, says that he's judging her for her choices in the past. So he breaks up with her and goes in there and has a conversation with Stacy. And I'm not sure what it was she said, but he was sitting in that part looking like instant regret. That's what it was, instant regret for his choice. So they're going to go on and finish having their date. We see him come out and him having a conversation, and here comes Chris coming out And they exchange some words, not getting smart or anything, but they say something to one another. And Chris was like, yeah, she pulling me for another date. And then Uche said something to the fact of maybe it's like an instant regret. Sometimes your second choice is the best choice. And I see it written all over Izzy's face that what Uche said is hitting him, and I'm thinking that he's regretting breaking up with Johnny and saying that he's gonna choose Stacy. Because once he got in it with Stacy, he wasn't feeling it for whatever reason. So Chris goes back in there for another date, and Johnny tells him, she was scared, she was nervous, and she thinks she might have made the wrong decision the day before. And then this is where I say, is this part heavily produced? And all the producers are doing things to keep a storyline going in the show. You know what I'm saying? To get people to backpedal and pussy pop James. If y'all don't know, that's James Caldwell. Caldwell, one of the two. Backpedaling and pussy popping is what Johnny is doing. Because now it's, I was so nervous and I thought I shouldn't go with the safe choice. I thought I should go with the choice that gave me the most excitement. But that might not be what I need. So Chris is listening and hearing her out. And she says, I feel like we can get engaged right now. Wait a minute, sis, pump the brakes. You just broke up with me maybe a day ago. And now you want to backpedal and pussy pop because he broke up with you. And you want to say, in this one conversation since the breakup, maybe we should just go ahead and get engaged. What? So Chris tells her he got to think about it. They get out, he leaves out, and Izzy is still sitting at the table with Uche and a few other people. And he asked him how'd it go. And he was like, she told me basically that the reason she wants to go with me because she needs to go with the safe choice, and I was the safe choice. And she feels like I really cared about her. And then that's when Izzy was like, wait, hold up. She told me she was going to go with me because I was the best choice. So she basically told us the same thing but flipped it around, so they feel like she playing games or whatever. A whole big mess. So we see Aaliyah go and have a date with Uche. In this date, she comes in, there's a pretty leather journal there. And the first 2 pages of it is filled with this one poem that he wrote for her. And it's basically saying how her voice soothes him and he's really into her and he wants to take the leap with her. And they don't see themselves leaving without each other from this experiment. They feel like they need to be together. So she's appreciative and lets him know that for the poem and all those things like that. And he says, but I do got to be honest with you. She said, what? He says, I wasn't completely honest. And I'm like, oh my God, what he got to say? What is he going to say? He said, from one of the first dates I had when I got here, I realized that one of the people that was here in this experiment was my ex. She said, huh? Who? Lydia. Motherfucking mic drop. Lydia. The one that you've been befriending and y'all been each other's comfort and encouragement. And she is the ex of the guy that you're into. Wow. Side note before I go, I think Chandra is really, really pretty. It's another black girl on here. Chandra's a flight attendant, and it's another black girl, but I don't remember what her name was. But they keep showing her in the living quarters for the women. And they doing what they always do, showing you all these really pretty black women. And when it comes down to the black women that's going to be in the couples, they always keep it to a minimum of 1.5 that might make it, and one that might make it, one that might not. Or it's the same formula each season, and I'm so sick and tired of it. Y'all gotta do better. And everybody called for Nick and Vanessa to be fired after season 4. But I'm guessing they are the producers of this show. So therefore, they ain't gonna be fired. Even though we want them to. Annoying. But who are the 5 couples that's gonna make it, y'all think? Or at least, who are the 5 couples that you think that we're going to follow in this whole process? Now, I see all the episodes up already. I'm only up to number 3. I finished number 3. I have not watched number 4 yet. So please do me a favor. If you're going to say something in the comment section, don't spoil it for me. Let me watch and see what's going to happen on my own. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.